My name is Wing Commander Robert Somerville. I'm a Martu man from the Murchison-Gascoyne region of Western Australia. Those of you who are Australian and have seen the movie Rabbit Proof Fence, that's my family story, and Deborah Momans actually portrays my grandmother, Yibby. I'm a Wing Commander serving with the national headquarters of the Royal Australian Air Force's cadet program, the Australian Air Force Cadets, which comprises of almost 9,000 young people between the ages of 13 and 18, and is a part of the Australian Defence Force cadet program that comprises over 26,000 cadets nationwide. It's interesting to note that almost 50% of these cadets move into defence or defence-related industries, with today's ADF comprising of 1 in 2 officers of the rank of Group Captain or Colonel or above being an ex-cadet. There's little doubt that the Australian Air Force, Australian Army and Australian Navy cadets are the breeding grounds of tomorrow's defence decision makers, and in fact we've got a young cadet under-officer from the Army Cadets here today. I would like to state that as a uniformed member of Australia's defence community, I'm very proud of the commitment the ADF has to reconciling with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, the First Nations people of Australia. Most of our bases now formally recognise the traditional owners of country. Each service has an Aboriginal elder. We have cutting-edge programs that seek to recruit and retain Aboriginal personnel, such as the Army's Indigenous Development Program, conducted in partnership by Australia's predominantly Aboriginal unit North Force with Australia's only Aboriginal tertiary institution, Bachelor Institute. As an Aboriginal person, I'm proud to say the ADF constantly celebrates and recognises the service and achievement of my people. Many other employers could learn much from the way the ADF positively focuses upon Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Ladies and gentlemen, as a Martu Aboriginal man, I can't welcome you to country because I'm out of region. So with Aboriginal protocol, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce to you my friend and colleague, Professor Colleen Hayward AM, who will welcome you to country. Colleen is a senior Noongar woman and until recently held the appointment of Pro-Vice-Chancellor Equity Indigenous at Edith Cowan University. Her father, a former Australian Air Force cadet I might mention, was the first Aboriginal teacher and school principal in Western Australia. Colleen's many achievements include Australian Aboriginal Person of the Year in 2008. She was bestowed with the Western Australian Premier's Multicultural Award in 2009. She was inducted into the Western Australian Women's Hall of Fame in 2012. She was presented with the Murdoch University Distinguished Alumni Award in 2015, published as one of WA's 100 Most Influential People in 2015 and 16, and interestingly, she was intimately involved in the design and raising of the new Aboriginal Police Medal just last year. Colleen is also a member of a number of significant boards and task forces that map the future of this state. She was conferred as a member of the Order of Australia in 2012, recognising her contribution to the advancement of the rights of Indigenous peoples, particularly in the area of social welfare, law and justice and children's health. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Colleen Hayward AM.
Thank you, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here again this year. For those of you who were here last year, you'll recall that we three had that privilege then as well. I was also really lucky over the last few days to make a number of new friends. And for those who are in the room, I welcome them again and thank them for their presence here in Perth. You'll note that we've turned on some stunning weather. Not always what happens at this time of the year. For those of you who don't know, at the time of British colonisation of Australia, there were more than 400 discrete Aboriginal nations on the mainland. In the southwest corner of Western Australia, that nation is called Noongar. We have 14 clans, and the clan for this area is called Whadjuk, so I particularly pay my respects to Whadjuk. We have 6 seasons rather than 4, although I think as climate change takes a stronger and stronger hold, it makes much more sense for us to actually see what it is that the year looks like in terms of weather. Right now, the season that we're in is called Julba. We didn't have a written language, so it's a little bit tricky to spell, and I won't give you the spelling test now. But one of the things that you will notice is you'll generally see birds in pairs because it's mating season. If you see a bird on their own, it means that their partner is already on the nest. You'll also see lots of colour. And the colours for this season, as our native plants come out to flower, are colours like yellow, cream and pink. As you drive around, if you have much of a chance, and even if it's only on your way to the airport, you will see some of that colour in our foliage. One of the things that I particularly wanted to share with you today, however, given that this is a defence conference, is the lack of defence, if you like, at the time of colonisation. For those of you who are Australian, and for others who are getting to know us a little more, you will know of our strong connection to country. That's where our significant sites are, on our own part of Australia. That calling is so strong that we have never had a desire to take over somebody else's country. If we did that, we would be taking over their sites of significance, which would have no meaning for us. So it was a very different social structure. One of the things that I think is great about a conference like this, where you have like-minded people sharing conversation and coming together to sort through a mutual agenda, is that this is about learning from each other's cultures, not appropriating, not overlooking, but sharing and learning. And I think the harmony that can come from that is something that is truly special. In welcoming you to Noongar country, and once again paying my respects to the Whadjuk clan, some of you who were here last week, or even last year, will remember this. Our greeting word is kaya. So when I say kaya, I'd like you to say it back to me, please. Kaya. Kaya. This bit you don't have to do. This year. Jovani nonuk jinin jini nala kara jini nunga mort bridia kayan karak nijabuja. That is in particular recognising and paying respects to the elders that have gone before us. We've been in this country for more than 3,000 generations, and we have knowledge and skills that can add to every agenda, including your agenda. We thank you for paying respect in terms of us being able to provide to you this welcome. Enjoy your proceedings. Thank you.